Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I'm very excited today because I have two wonderful people that I've known forever. Mary Snow, who is the new CEO, president of Coral Gables Community Foundation. And I say new because she used to be executive director, but she's been CEO all along, so they finally gave her the title. And then the chairman of the board, Laura Russo, another person I've known forever. Thank you both so much for coming today. Before we start, I've got to thank my sponsors, Brown Medical Institute, a Quigley eye specialist company. Beautiful place, 2550 Douglas Road. They do everything from optometry to ophthalmology to plastic surgery to do those little saggy eyelids and stuff. And then the other sponsor is South Florida PBS, and they have a great program coming up on Wednesday, the 18th at 7 p.m. If you go to allhealthtv.com, Dr. Fauci, as well as many other specialists are going to talk about the COVID variants. So if you have questions about it, you can log in and you can ask questions online and they'll be answered for you. So that might be a really interesting show to check out. So Mary and Laura, I don't even know who to start with first. It's your 30th anniversary. Tell me, first of all, what do you plan to do for the 30th anniversary that you haven't already done?
Sure. So we're very excited to be celebrating our 30th anniversary. And Gloria, you were such a big part of this organization's history. You served as executive director for 9 years?
14.
14. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
that's all right.
14 years. So
almost half.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And those were such important years. So we were founded in 1991, and we're so excited to celebrate our 30th anniversary this year under Laura Russo's chairmanship.
And Laura and I were talking that one of the very first things we did with partnership early on was create a park. And Laura had an instrument. Tell me about that, Laura. I know you worked hard at that.
Well, I worked hard. I think my father worked even harder. So
exactly. And then Ron Sheffield.
And Bob Fuel was my dad's friend and client for many years. And he had this piece of property that was located on Coral Way, and he wanted to donate it. And so between Ron Sheffield and Bill Kurdyk Jr., we figured out a way for it to go for the property to go to the foundation. And then I think the foundation gave it to the city. So
right, exactly.
Before the partnership was officially set up.
Right.
Yeah.
And that park is still enjoyed today on the corner of Granada and Coral Way, right? And
it is.
We have a wonderful partnership with the city and many things, but one of them is our commemorative bench program.
I love that.
We have placed a few benches, dedicated benches in that park. One is for Sissy DiMaria's mom. Sissy's a longtime board member of ours, and then also most recently Liz Parnes and her husband, Dr. Edmund Parnes. Their friends just dedicated a bench for them in that park for a big anniversary they were celebrating.
And then you have another park, the Rotary Centennial Park.
Yes.
And so that was the first time I realized you had, and I said, great idea.
Yes.
Mary's got the best ideas.
No, that's been a great program.
Yeah. And you were, the foundation was involved in the umbrellas.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So
that was all Mary.
That was so great.
Okay, that was all Mary. Mary,
believe it.
Yes, no, definitely. She doesn't like taking credit for it, but she is solely responsible for Umbrella Sky, bringing it to our board, and we said, you got to run with it. And then Mary, I'll let you
That's very kind.
Say what happened.
It's a wonderful partnership with the city
Yes.
of Coral Gables, specifically the Economic Development Department. We worked hand in hand with them from day one, and that was such a wonderful project. It was summer of 2018. It was a wonderful timing because the street, Giralda had just, kind of finished their construction and became a pedestrian-only street.
Right.
And so the timing couldn't have been more perfect. It was summer. The umbrellas were beautiful, but they also offered shade.
It was perfect.
It was
and
colorful,
were so
colorful,
and became an Instagram
it went viral.
Sensation.
It went viral.
The PR that you got out of
Oh my gosh, it went viral. We had people doing wedding, marriage proposals under the umbrellas, influencers coming from all over taking photos. It was wonderful.
Do you have something coming up next? for the 20th.
So for yes, so we
it's hard to top the umbrellas.
Yes,
Really
we would love to bring the umbrellas back. You know,
I would
perhaps
too.
at the 5-year. You know, 5 years from 2018, maybe we could do it again. That was such a blast, and the business owners and the restaurant owners on the street loved it. You know, it was
the city's
a great
parking
project.
garages loved it.
Yep.
All other retailers in the area that didn't get exposure loved it because they got a lot of foot traffic. Right?
Yeah,
it really generated foot traffic.
It really the traffic, the foot traffic and the visitors really went beyond just Giralda. We heard from the retailers.
Oh no, for sure. Once you got them downtown,
right?
You know, because some of them were just tourists.
Right.
Maybe wouldn't have come to Coral Gables. They might have gone to the beach or something else. We have to go see.
Right.
And then while we're here.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So it was so funny because I was traveling. I think my husband and I had gone to Scotland, and we came across the umbrellas there.
Oh, cool.
I was going down. I make a turn, and I'm going, oh my God, the umbrellas!
Yes. So we were at the time in 2018. We were just the third U.S. city to host the umbrellas.
Yeah.
And since you know, I've talked to a lot of folks from other big cities around the country, you know, asking how our process went and giving them kind of our advice and best practices after having gone through it. So yeah, it was wonderful. Definitely something we're so proud of. We're proud of a lot of things, but that's
one of the big ones.
Big one.
Yeah. So tell me, you have any events coming up? I know with COVID, it's okay. So what's coming up?
So we, so you know, last year in 2020, obviously COVID, we all had to adjust to that. And I would say the foundation, I'm proud of us because we really stepped up and served our community in a great time of need in terms of feeding people who were out of work, providing computers to people who needed them for working from home and schooling from home. And our event, so Laura, as our chair, she's serving a 2-year term. Laura serves a 2-year term. And, you know, she really wanted to think outside of the box. Our annual gala takes place every fall, and it's a traditional gala, and it's a blast. And it really is the signature charity ball in our city annually.
But people were packed in the Biltmore, as you can imagine, pre-COVID. It was, I mean, everybody who was anybody was there. You couldn't move. So we thought
you sold out.
Well, we said we can't do that.
Sold out anymore.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Exactly. So we had a great idea to do an at-home gala. So instead of buying a table at the hotel, you bought your dining room table.
Right.
And we partnered with a wonderful caterer, La Basque. They became more than a caterer. They were our partner. And we're doing it again this year. Sissy DiMaria Kona and Lauren Harrison Brown are chairing again. And they provide, you know, we provide with the table your meal, your wine paired by Jeffrey Wolf from Wolf's Wine Shop. So a Coral Gables, business owner. We do the flowers, music, if you'd like music,
a chef,
the Frost School of Music,
and a waiter,
a chef and a waiter
so
in each house.
You charge
the same amount,
same amount.
But it's just you're going to somebody's home, and then you have to get host.
Yes. So we had last year, we held the event November 7th, I believe it was.
Yes.
And we had 35 hosts and hostesses from around the city opening their homes on the same night. We had honorees. We have honorees again this year. We haven't quite announced them yet, but we have a wonderful lineup of honorees.
You can come back later and tell us about the
Please.
honorees.
And it'll be October 23rd. And like Laura said, you know, the people that purchase the tables and their guests are guests in their own home. I mean, we bring a chef and a waiter into each home.
So they don't have to do anything.
They don't
have to do anything. And the theme, you need to
tell us
the theme. This year's theme
is the table, or what? Did they bring everything?
Oh, so that's up to you. So most of the hosts and hostesses we found really wanted to take the opportunity to showcase their best china and their best.
Right.
And that was really Sissy's kind of brainchild last year is the art of entertaining. We got very comfortable being at home because of COVID. So bring out your best.
Right.
So most of the homeowners brought out their own servingware, but we are able to provide them. So, if for somebody who doesn't, you know, maybe doesn't have or doesn't want to use their own,
doesn't have enough.
Exactly. So we can provide that.
Yes.
So how big are the tables?
Tables of 10.
10. Okay.
And the theme, the most exciting is, so last year it was a French theme, and this year it's the Greek Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
So the menu is Greek, and we have
Perfect.
music.
We were just talking about liking Greek food.
Right.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Right, exactly. And
So,
we provide music from the Frost School of Music from the University of Miami. So there's an incredible partnership with a lot of different aspects of the Gables. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It will
Because
be.
you can do it, super elegant or, Animal House.
Exactly. So I think we'll have togas and gods and goddesses, ouzo. It'll be true Gables
Zorba the
Odyssey.
Greek.
Yes.
Oh, well, okay. So when it gets closer, maybe you should come back with your toga on.
Yes, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Zorba the Greek. Oh my gosh, that would be funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so tell me something. Coming up in October, are you concerned at all? How is that going to work if we still have problems with COVID?
So what we say to our table hosts is, host the group that you feel most comfortable with. If that's just you and your spouse, that's fine. If that's, people that are close in your bubble, that's fine as well. We had last year a couple folks table hosts, they did it together. So they did
outside.
2 tables together, but outside. So they had 20 people, but outside. So we really love this event and this format, and we would have done it anyway, even if COVID was gone, but we're grateful that
I think it's a fabulous
it's
idea.
a blast.
And it allows
really
the
different.
host.
I remember you sent me a press release and I'm going, oh, this is so clever.
Yeah. And it allows the host or hostess to say, I only want vaccinated people, or who is or who isn't.
Well,
and you can choose your own, can choose your own table mates.
Right.
So
exactly. And hopefully by then you get you'll get the booster for the people that
need it. Yeah.
Because we were just talking about, there are a lot of people that have been double vaccinated that are getting it now. So be nice to have that.
Yes.
Like, okay, do you have 3 shots?
Yes, exactly.
No more 2 shots, 3 shots. So,
oh, that's funny.
So in the past,
we also have another event.
I was going to say the tour of the kitchens.
Well, we have.
Well, yes,
what else?
Tell them
well, we
about
have
our
a
fall
wine event. So we have an amazing wine event. This is our 3rd year,
Yes.
and each year we've added a little twist. So the main sponsors, Avinsky and Katz, who are great, great partners with the foundation. I think the first one was at the Campon. The second one was at the Venetian Pool, and this year we are doing it at Coco Walk on the rooftop. So again, outdoor event.
I haven't been to Coco Walk since
it's beautiful. It's a really special space. Really special space.
I'll have to check that out.
And so we like it because it's outdoors, again, being COVID safe.
Oh, sure.
And you get to.
And when is that scheduled for?
November 12th.
Okay. Well, it should be cool then.
Yes, and we have a great band scheduled that we worked with last year. Gara Grooves is the name of the band. They're awesome. And the performer, it's a husband and wife team, and the wife went to Gables High School. So that ties into
the Gables.
Yes,
and friends of.
They're so much fun. It's going to be a blast. So that's November 12th.
Okay. And then Mary, I'll let you talk about the tour of kitchens, which hopefully next year will include a hybrid. In and out, because this year we did the tour of kitchens. We did it later, but we did it outside, only outside kitchens. Yeah. And it was a huge success. People loved it. So so next year may be a hybrid, but in cooler weather.
People are used to being flexible now.
I know. I think, and I think I thank our supporters and our friends of the foundation, because really they have been supportive, even though we've had to adjust. Like, as Laura mentioned, our tour of kitchens typically takes place the first Saturday in February. So it's cool and it's beautiful weather. Mm-hmm. And we obviously could not hold an 800-person event in February of this year.
And have that many people in people's houses during.
We couldn't. We couldn't.
A peak of COVID at the time.
Right. So we postponed it until June, and we held our tour of kitchens June 12th this year. Yeah. So it was very warm, but we adjusted and focused only on outdoor kitchens. So we had 10 of the most fabulous outdoor kitchens and outdoor spaces in Coral Gables.
Oh, right.
And we called it
some grill people.
Yes. Yeah. We called it the
outdoor
that was edition.
Genius.
We had
grill
Fuse
people.
Appliances was a big sponsor for the grills. Mosaicist,
the
Ray
pools.
Corral. He's a resident and a donor of ours, and he was our presenting sponsor, and he does beautiful mosaic pools. So we had several of his projects. It was
Tucci Umbrellas.
Tucci Umbrellas was a great
sponsor. Oh, Tucci, yes. Pat Clark's son.
Yes, I know Pat
Yes,
Clark's
I
son.
Have one of his first umbrellas. Do you believe that?
No way.
Wow.
I bought it at one of our auctions.
Oh, that's so
And,
cool.
and he even tells me, he says, I think I handmade that umbrella that you
I
have.
believe it.
I still have it. All I have to do is change a canopy every once.
Oh,
I think I've changed
Wow.
canopy once.
that's
But
so nice.
yeah,
That's so nice.
those are amazing.
They're amazing.
umbrellas.
So Tucci was a great partner. Josh's Premium Meats. He was we put a restaurant in each house. Steve Bradley from Clutch Burger was in one of the houses.
Right.
We love this event, and it was our most successful. So it was our most successful tour of kitchens in the 12-year history of the event.
During the pandemic.
During the
okay.
pandemic,
I know,
in
isn't
the
it
height of
crazy?
this summer heat. So, we are going to move the event back to February 2022 because, it's very hot in June. But we
Right.
will now, it really opened our eyes to being able to incorporate both the indoor kitchens and outdoor experiences.
Right,
So,
exactly.
and
So
again,
people can take their pick.
they can take their pick. And
Yeah.
and again, we did it with the gala with, entertaining at home, and everyone was spending so much time at home, and with the tour of kitchens too, everyone was spending a lot of time outdoors and in the outdoors of their home. So it was a nice way to celebrate that.
Right. Now, in the 30-year history, you have a lot of accomplishments. And one of them is Coral Gables Museum, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that I think you were.
I
you were
was around for that.
A big
yeah.
part of that. So you're actually the expert on that piece of our history, but we are so so honored to play a small part
would
in
have
the
thought?
in the beginning of both the Coral Gables Museum and the Coral Gables Art Cinema.
Yeah.
And now there are such treasures in our community,
I
both
know.
of those organizations.
I just went to a production at Coral Gables Art Cinema.
Oh, good.
It was
Swan.
it was a musical comedy.
Oh,
It was so good.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
And
We still continue to, provide funding to both
we
organizations.
do.
So
That's
we
wonderful.
sponsor the children's family programming at the art cinema.
At the-
So a children's movie.
Uh-huh.
So really proud of that partnership. And then also a local history field trip for every fourth grader in our public schools through the museum.
Right.
And the kids get to go to the museum, the water tower, the Biltmore City Hall, and do a little, tour of the museum. And so we have wonderful partnerships with both organizations still.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So, do you have one of the things? Tell people about what a community foundation is, because it's funny because we started, we didn't even know.
Right.
But the opportunity for people that have a philanthropic mission,
Yep.
They can use your community foundation to do a lot of different things, and they can set
Absolutely.
up different kind of funds. So
Absolutely.
explain that a teeny bit.
So, so we really serve, to serve the greatest needs in our community and to enhance the quality of life in Coral Gables. And we do that various ways, but I would say the biggest way that community foundations do this nationally, not just here, but we help philanthropic folks, organizations, families set up help them be philanthropic. We take care of all the back end work, all the administration, by helping families and individuals set up donor advised funds.
Mm-hmm.
And so we currently manage about 80 such funds, and using a community foundation as your back office is a much more cost efficient and
For sure.
and simple way to help you manage your philanthropy. So private family foundation, people use a community foundation as an alternative to that by setting up a donor advised fund. Private family foundation requires a 5% annual payout, whereas a donor advised fund, you are not required to distribute your funds annually. So we have fund holders, some that are very, very active, and they place money into their donor advised fund with us. They get an immediate tax deduction, of course, because we are a 501c3 recognized charity. And then we have some fund holders that give very often and give very generously, and some that mostly just contribute to their fund. And I think they have plans for the future, but they're under no requirement.
Bigger
Bigger-
fish to fry in the
Exactly.
future. Yeah.
But they're under no requirement to disperse. And then we take care of, most importantly, the annual filings with the state, the IRS. We go
990s,
through
which is-
a state, an annual audit every year. So we really handle all of that back office support. And Laura just started a fund with us,
You
a
did.
scholarship
a
fund.
scholarship
You
fund.
did.
Yeah, that was one of my goals, was to increase the number of scholarships, because I think most people don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
the need, and it's the need right in our backyard.
Well,
It's
you
at
have
Coral
our-
Gables High School.
You have our Rotary
Yes,
scholarship.
your
fund.
Rotary
Yes.
scholarship is with us as
And,
well. Yeah,
Does Junior Orangeville still have a fund with you, right?
No, they don't. They don't.
Okay, because
No.
they had one.
They had at one time.
And then I'm trying to think of the other scholarship funds that we have.
We manage, so we currently manage 13 scholarship funds. So it's grown a lot.
Oh, I know. When I saw how much you were giving out at one
Yes.
time, it was like,
it's amazing.
whoa, you have a lot of
Matthew
funds.
Meehan, our scholarship committee
Who's that?
chairman, Matthew Meehan.
Oh, Matthew.
Matthew is just been amazing.
Yeah.
He has, called to action, and people have stepped up to the plate. I mean, in the last 2 or 3 years, it has
It's
grown.
grown substantially.
Yes,
Oh,
it
that's
has
great.
grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I started.
So do you remember how much you gave out last year?
This year,
It was
250,000 this spring. And
Yeah.
when I started, I think we were managing 3 or 4 scholarship funds. We're now managing 13. So, that's another service we provide is, a lot of folks like Laura and her family, they, want to remember a family member and want to give back in that way by providing, support to a student to attend college, but don't necessarily want to deal with, the administration of it and collecting the applications and going through them and the accounting. So we handle all of that for them. And so that's been such a huge point of pride for us.
Yeah, and it's tough for for private foundations to give out scholarships.
Yes,
it's so
it
much
is.
easier for a community foundation. They don't have quite as much red tape.
We don't,
yeah,
exactly. And
so-
so that's just a huge point of pride for us. Is our work in our local public schools and also our scholarship. And that was a big goal of Laura's personally, right? During
Right,
your
was to
chairmanship.
increase the scholarships.
Oh yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
the number of scholarships, because that's where you make the biggest impact in someone's
Well,
life.
Okay, so you've got donors who set up field of interest funds.
We
So-
do.
Yes.
And what type of funds do you have in that regard?
So we have several. So we have a
Music.
few that are dedicated to music, to students on the scholarship side, some that go to
Golf.
music students. We have golf, types of scholarships that are geared toward golf. We have
Culinary arts,
culinary.
cooking.
Yep.
Yeah.
We manage a fund for Seraphic Fires, a very wonderful partner to
Mhm.
us. So we help them. They're a very important relationship with us, and we support their endowment and that type of work.
Yeah. And one of the things that I always thought was really interesting with the community foundation is that as you see people doing good work that want to do something for the community and they want to set up their own nonprofit, you can act as
Fiscal sponsor.
an incubator of sorts.
Right.
And you can hold their money until such time as they get their 501c3.
Right.
That's
a big part of our work.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's such a great thing that most people don't know about. Though.
Right. So
It's-
that's our
You do so many
service.
good things that
I
it's hard to
know.
get the word out
I
with
know we
because
do.
the impact is so varied and so broad. Yeah.
Right. So the fiscal sponsorship, serving in that capacity, we served in that capacity as the incubator, like you mentioned, for the Coral Gables Museum and the Coral Gables Art Cinema in their infancy, and sort of held their funds while they were fundraising and becoming their own standalone nonprofit organization. And we've done that with other groups throughout the years, and they eventually spin off some of them and become their own organization with a staff and a payroll and all of that. And then some never kind of spin off and always want us to handle their back office. And so we're happy to do both.
Yeah. Which is great because
Right. Yeah.
you're always going to be there. Whereas especially if it's family,
Right.
you don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Exactly.
And, and if ultimately they leave it to you and say, hey, just,
Right.
whatever the interest is, it's scholarship, continue to handle it forever and ever.
Right.
And you've got the
Exactly.
endowment, so it doesn't matter.
Right. And
Yeah.
we've been privileged enough to be able to do that for several local families to carry that on for them and work with. They might, the original donor or fund holder might have passed away, but then we work with their children and their grandchildren to carry on their legacy of philanthropy and giving. And we really try and make the process very, very simple and easy.
Yeah. Have you had people, do you have private foundations that, or have you ever had a private foundation that said, oh, heck, we only have like several $1 million, but not enough to make it worthwhile. Have you ever had people
Yes.
just transfer the money to
Yes,
you?
those are the best clients.
Those are the best ones.
Those
yeah.
are our favorite fund holders. We call them clients fund holders. So we recently had a board member of ours,
Yes.
actually David Olazabal. He's told me to share his name.
Yeah,
David
right.
and Ann Olazabal, and David's been on our board for a very long time. He's a partner at Morgan Stanley,
Right.
and his family
chair of our community giving
Yeah.
committee.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the grants.
chair of our grants committee. And David's family has had a private family foundation for many years, and they just kind of said just that. His mother is getting up there in age, and it was just easier if we handled the back end. She still controls and makes the recommendations on where the donations go, of course, but we are handling all the back office work.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's the best relationship. Those are our favorites.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I was trying to think. Actually, David Evensky years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing any projects with him? Because
Yes.
The wine auction.
The what?
The wine
The
auction.
wine auction. Oh yeah.
That Laura just mentioned, the wine
That makes
auction. So
sense,
they sponsor David Evensky and Evensky and Katz, and one of their partners is a person named Michael Walsh, and he's our board treasurer, and we
Right.
adore
Oh,
him.
really?
We love
Okay.
Michael.
We love Michael. He's hilarious. You
Yeah.
have to have him on the show. And they sponsor our annual wine auction.
Mhm.
And so it's a big fundraiser for us, for our scholarship program. And it's been a blast.
Right. And he also does the golf.
Yes, they have a golf
They
tournament.
have a golf tournament that we assist with, right?
Right.
Okay.
So we help them in the background
In the back.
on the golf tournament, and then they make, based on the
because-
revenues from the golf tournament, they make disbursements and donations to their favorite charities.
But through the foundation.
Yes,
Yes.
through the foundation.
Oh, okay. That's
so
great.
their Evensky and Katz Wealth Management has been in Coral Gables for 35 years, and the firm uses the foundation to hold their firm's charitable giving. So they have an Evensky and
that's
Katz
Mhm.
fund,
Mhm.
and all of the firm's charitable giving comes through their fund.
Well,
So
Dina
they fund
Katz,
it and then direct it.
Dina Katz, Harold's wife,
Yes.
was one of our original board members.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And we have a
So,
long history.
We have
Yeah.
we have a really long
They're
history.
wonderful
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Very
So-
philanthropic, and I think they really instill that in their employees and David's kids. His little kids have, we did a painting and planting day at Carver Elementary School, where we painted the library and kind of freshened it up. And David brought his small kids and helped us. He's done that several times.
And now you're talking about your actual giving.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the charities that you've supported over the years has been the Coral Gables Women's Club Dental Clinic.
Yes.
We have the free dental clinic for
Yes.
children, and I think you told me that one of the biggest donations you ever made, you bought them a
Dental chair.
Dental chair.
I'm in there too. So, but you bought us a dental chair,
I
and that
know.
was huge.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, I
That
know.
that was such a great thing. So the dental clinic at the Coral Gables Women's Club, how long has it been around?
It's
About
been-
90 years.
I was going to say,
I think-
I
at one
think
point
way back
it was
from
in the mayor's office.
really.
It moved around for a while, and then when the city, when the library moved out of the you know where it is, 1009.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, on the 1009 side was the library,
Oh,
the Coral
I didn't
Gables
know
Library.
that. Okay.
The Coral Gables Library moved out. They built a new library, and the Women's Club bought the building and the land from the city.
Oh.
And at that point, the Junior Women's Club was also in existence. And so they rented it out to the Junior Women's Club, and the Junior Women's Club took out a mortgage and renovated that whole building because it was a library.
Yeah.
They renovated, made it into a ballroom, and then attached the dental clinic to it. So the dental clinic's been there since, I think it was the 1950s, maybe.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
And that's been a project that
it's
very
beautiful.
very
You've
dear to us.
seen it.
Yes, we visited, and I don't think people realize that there's a dental clinic there to serve children who need free dental
Mhm.
care, and it's children from all over Dade County. It's
like-
not.
We get like 500. We have 500 patients,
That's wonderful.
and and we keep them because they come back for
follow-up.
cleanings and whatever. But now I think you helped us out recently because we were saying, oh my gosh, these kids that were foster kids, or they're good. When they go out of foster system, they still don't have any money.
Right.
They still
Or
need to go to
insurance.
college. And
Right.
if we're working on their teeth,
Right.
so
we're so pleased to support that
Yeah.
wonderful work. And
Yeah.
a few years ago, it was during Chairman John O'Rourke's term that we purchased the dental chair.
The dental chair, yeah.
And that was they're expensive, and we
Oh,
were so
yeah.
happy to do it.
Well,
and I know.
Well, you can imagine all the progress being made in that industry.
Oh yes.
All the new equipment that's coming out and whatever, and everything is so expensive.
Yes.
So continually to stay on top of things, they need to buy new equipment. So there's always such a great need, and we're eternally grateful for
thank you.
for the support we get
love
from
the
the community
partnership.
foundation. Yeah,
We
yeah.
love the partnership.
So, but that's not the only one. You do a lot of great stuff in the community. Tell us about some of your other favorite projects.
So
you have to tell them about Surfside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
what?
Yeah. I forget.
We have 1 minute left.
Okay, so I'll just
Quick.
say something there's a lot of things we're proud of, but Laura just reminded me. So June 24th, the building in Surfside collapsed. And
right.
So we, together with our good friends at the Miami Foundation and the Key Biscayne Community Foundation, we put together Support Surfside.
Mhm.
To date, we've raised $5 million. We've dispersed $1 million. We're getting ready to disperse and distribute the remaining $4 million to the families. We're partnering with a group called the National Compassion Fund. We were on site every day at the Family Assistance Center in Surfside for about the first 30 days or so, providing emergency funds to the families and victims for their immediate needs.
And Laura told me that you were Johnny on the spot, like right away.
Right, we were. We
And
really
I couldn't believe it
that
either
morning.
because
Yep.
it was like before I knew it, I was getting a press release about what you were doing. I'm going,
I know.
how did she put this together?
No,
so
it was
quickly?
a group
It was-
effort with the other community
Yeah,
foundations
but
in
it was-
town.
But by that
we really-
morning,
it was
they had
pretty
it together.
impressive. Yeah.
We really felt it was the right thing to do.
Okay, well, listen, thank you both so
Thank
much.
you.
for
Thank
coming
you
today.
for the
We'll have
invitation.
to come
Thank you.
back and do this again
Yes,
because
yes.
you've got so many great things going on.
Yes.
Again, I want to thank Brown Medical Institute, a Quigley Eye Specialist company, for supporting, and South Florida PBS. Be sure and tune in to allhealthtv.com on Wednesday, the 18th. See Dr. Anthony Fauci and several other medical experts from beyond the United States that will answer your questions about the new COVID variants. Until next week, stay safe and have a great week.